Milan FinTech Summit 2024, Allianz MiCo Milan, 2 days of work to talk about the future of FinTech and the innovation in financial and banking services. In this moment, we are together with Wouter Lachat, who is a founder at Oper. Thank you for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
So, Wouter, with you, we want to better understand uh, how is today the real role of digitization in general, and maybe we try to talk also a little bit about the AI, but there
Perfect.
isn't just AI in digitization when we talk about this. And so, in particular, in the segment of mortgage, because it's so interesting also for the Italian market, this kind of segment in the fintech industry, obviously, in the financial industry in general. So, according to you, what is the impact of digitization? What have changed during this year, and why? So obviously.
Yeah, okay. Let me try to explain. So I think in mortgages, the entire process from advisory to application underwriting is very standardized across the different markets. So at Oper, we are working in Belgium, Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, and Czech Republic, and we're entering new markets at the same time. And we see the same problems in all different markets. It's mainly the first time right that is quite low, meaning that when a mortgage application is submitted to a bank, often there is missing data, there is missing documents, so they need to go back to the customer, to the branch, they need to collect that document, etc., etc. So that's one of the first pain points. The second is what we call the time to yes. So basically, how long does it take for a borrower to get a yes or a no from a lender after they've submitted their application? For some lenders, what we see, this really takes a few weeks or even months before they get a reply from a customer. And what we really at Oper look at is what we call borrower anxiety, meaning borrowers, when they are buying a house, they are very scared. Will I be able to buy this property? Can I afford it? And if you then, as a borrower, need to wait 4 weeks to get a reply, it's very painful, right? So those are a bit the three big elements that we think where digitization can play a big role. And we do that by providing more hybrid experiences where customers can in an easy way enter all their data, collect all their documents, etc., to increase the first time right. um, yeah.
And according to this, in order to think about democratization of the credit access and also the opportunities brought by this trial processing. So,
Yeah.
because it's not so easy,
it's
you told us in an easy way, but it's not so
it's
easy to make it. What are today the priorities or the challenges to face in order to make these true? So to help, really help customers, clients, and people in general to access to the opportunity of a mortgage, and maybe also for the Italian market. What is the real priorities that, according to you, the Italian market needs to focus on?
Mhm. Yeah, I think to start with a small anecdote, I got a new mortgage very recently in the last few months, actually. And I can say for myself that I know a lot about mortgages.
Self experience.
Exactly. But again, it was very painful, the process to go through, the uncertainty. And we did an offer on a house, but we didn't know if we could afford it. So it's very painful even for me. And I know a lot about mortgages. So indeed, as you said, for most people, getting a mortgage and buying a house, it's a once in a lifetime thing, right? Or perhaps twice or three times, but it's not something that you do on a weekly basis for most people. So I think it's everything around education, better user experience to guide the borrower to explain, okay, we need these 10 documents from you. You can find them there. Or instead of uploading these 10 documents, you can perhaps connect your bank account. We will fetch the data for you. So there's a lot of education that is really important within the process to really provide the best possible borrower experience. Additionally, I think an important aspect is everything related to transparency. As a borrower, you need to be up to date. What is the status of my application? when can I get feedback from the bank. So all these elements are, according to us, really key to provide the best possible borrower experience. So I think also in Italy it will be very relevant for banks to start looking in that direction, let's say.
Also because sometime with all the bureaucracy you need to overcome, is difficult to have a transparent feedback
Yeah, that's true.
and
Yeah.
immediate feedback, we can say. But talking about the impact of AI or emerging technologies in general in order to streamline all the
Mhm.
processes, according to you, what are the next trend to follow, or maybe what is the real game changer technology that
Mhm.
you can approach or embrace in order to go straight in this direction?
Yeah. So I think there are a few things as you touched upon AI. For us also, we are really together with our customers. We are piloting some AI use cases today. Today they are mainly focused on the operational side of the mortgage business, meaning that verifying the documents, verifying the data, so more like back or mid office processes. But I think in the future we will also start looking more into how can we use AI to provide advisory recommendations to the customer. What is the best possible credit setup for your situation? You are self-employed, perhaps you need to have this kind of loan. So we see a lot of potential there. Additionally, besides everything AI, I think what we are really focusing on is everything what we call smart data. So there are a lot of data sources available related to your income with open banking, but also in other markets you have KYC data that is readily available, tax data, employment history data. And if you think about it from an abstract level, if you have all that data and it's verified, then taking a mortgage decision is relatively straightforward, right? The most complexity lies today in fetching, getting the information, verifying the documents. So I think with those two trends of external data sources and AI, we will really be able to streamline the process and make it a pleasant experience for borrowers, let's say.
Sometimes just to to have mm, a spotlight on this, sometimes mostly for processes like mortgage, is needed also the human touch, is important also to
It's
have this kind of
Yeah, completely agree with that. I think we initially, when we started Oper a long time ago, we said we will help banks to do mortgages completely online, end to end. That was the vision back then. I think in the last few years we have realized that borrowers are not ready for that. I think perhaps 5 or 10% of borrowers would be interested, but the majority of the borrowers, they want to have the human in the loop
yeah,
on the advisory
want
sides.
to talk, to ask, to have a
Exactly,
discussion, a
exactly,
conversation on
exactly.
that.
And so in our platform, we support hybrid journeys, as we call it.
Mhm.
So a borrower can start online, go to a branch, then continue the rest of the
Yes,
application
yes.
online, so that the administrative part is online and self-serve, but
But
the
then the
advice,
final mile needs
exactly,
to
that you
be,
can do with hand
yeah,
holding.
yeah.
So we really believe in that. And I think related to that, initially in a lot of European countries, mortgages were sold direct, right? The
Hmm.
last few years in most European countries, we also see a trend of more indirect distribution via brokers or intermediaries.
Hmm.
And it's just because a lot of banks are closing down branches,
Hmm.
but people still want to talk to an
So,
advisor. And we see because of that, brokers are playing a bigger role within mortgages in Europe.
so this is a good and interesting message because uh, even if the digitization is increasing, is growing, the need the for a human touch
Exactly.
is important, keep to be important. So thank you for being with us and
Of
for your
course.
spotlight on this.
Thank you very much. It was good meeting you. Thank you. Oh, sorry.